Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well and you're watching my YouTube channel Advanced Technology by Rana. In the previous session guys, we already did the lab for source address translation, and in source address translation we covered the static address translation, which is one-to-one address mapping between your local and global addresses. Then we did the lab for dynamic address translation as a dynamic NAT, where you have many-to-many address mapping between your local and global addresses. And in dynamic address translation, it is a multi-flavor of configuration. In dynamic NAT, there is multiple options to configure. As the subnet, you can configure the subnet of public IP, you can configure the range of public IP, you can configure it as a failback option. In the failback, again, you can give your port addresses and your interfaces addresses or your IP addresses. And finally, we did the lab for port address translation, which is many to many, and this is the mostly common configuration to make your source address translation, okay, which is the PAT, port address translation. So in today's session, we will do the lab of destination address netting. Okay, so basically there are two types, one as source address translation and second is destination address translation. The source address translation, guys, is always initiated from your trusted zone, which is your DMZ or your inside, towards your untrusted network, which is your public internet. In that scenario, you always use source address translation because you don't want to visible your private IP, your intranet IPs to the public cloud. So for that purpose, you make a source address translation. And in the destination address translation, you always initiate traffic from your untrusted or from your outside zone towards your inside trusted zone, which can be your DMZ and which can be your inside trusted zone. So this will be a destination address translation. So let's start our lab for today. This is my Paloalto interface. My network is already configured with the IPs, and I already configured the OSPF on my intranet, my all interfaces and Paloalto firewall. My IP addresses and my devices placement is almost same, except I have added this additional outside devices for destination address translation, okay, with this IP addresses. So from where I will start now, I will go to my Palo Alto, I'll go to the policies. In the policies, I can see the NAT and security setting. So first I will configure a NAT. In the NAT, first I will give the name. My name should be friendly. Outside to inside web server. Okay, I will configure with my this web server. And what is my original packet? My original packet is coming from the outside zone, and my destination zone will be my outside interface. Here is the twist. Mostly people think that my destination zone should be my inside or DMZ, but it's not true. My destination zone will be outside. Okay, why it is outside? Let me explain here with the diagram. So this is my diagram. Basically, when my traffic is initiated from my remote user and it will reach towards my my network side, and it will come to my internet router. Internet router will forward the traffic to my Palo Alto firewall, and basically when it reached my Palo Alto firewall, this will hit on my outside interface of Palo Alto firewall with the public IP, which is 192.168.100.1. okay, so this is my web server. So for this reason, I will provide here the destination zone. Source is coming from outside and it will hit to my destination zone, which is my outside interface. Okay, so it is my outside interface. Then I will configure my destination interface as Ethernet 1/1. And my source address, again, if it is the communication is happening between your one branch to another branch, in that context you will provide your specific user. But if the traffic is coming from internet from the unknown source, then it's better to keep as any address. Okay, but for my case, I will mention my address as a remote user, which is 11.11.11.11/32. Okay, and my destination address, again, what should be my destination address? Let's discuss over here. My destination address will be the public IP of my web server. Okay, so to keep my web server accessible from outside, I will provide some public IP to my server. For example, I will give this server IP address as 192.168.100.50 as my public IP. Okay, and this server I will give as 192.168.100.100. Okay, this is my second public IP. Okay, so I will use this public IP. So my destination address will be my public IP, which is 192.168.100.50/32. Yes, 100.50. Okay, so next I will go to the translation packet. In the translation packet, now our area is destination address translation, because we are coming from outside towards inside. So in the translation type, I will provide here static IP. And what will be my static IP? This is my actual IP address of my web server. So what is my IP? 192.168.10.100/32. Okay, so this is my actual IP address of the server. I'll keep it okay. So guys, my netting is done. So I'm able to access my internet from access my server from outside? The answer is no, because I just configured the net. I did not configure the security policy. Security policy will the Palo Alto will not allow the communication to enter into the zone unless there is configured as a security policy. So next is the time to configure a security policy. I'll go into the security policy. I'll just give the same name as my net policy. Inside web. Then I'll go to the source. What is my source address? Outside. And my source outside, and my source address is 11.11.11.11/32. Okay, user I will keep as it is. What happened? 11.11.11.11/32. Okay, and my source user I will not configure at this time. The destination side will be my DMZ. Okay, here I will mention my DMZ, which is my destination zone, and my destination address will be my netted IP 192.168.100.50/32. Okay, this is my netted address. And the application side, I will do one thing. I will just mention ICMP or ping. Not the ICMP, ping. Okay, ping is my application. Service URL I will keep it as default. Action is allow. There are three options: allow, deny, drop, and I will mention as allow. And log add session. So my configuration is done. I will do one thing. I will add another entry for the net and security policy for my second application server. Okay, for this server. So I will do a quickly. I'll go to the net policy, the net outside to app server. Okay, then my original packet is coming from outside. Destination zone will be outside. Interface 1/1, source address I'll keep it 11.11.11.11/32. Destination address will be 192.168 100.100, which is my netted address. Okay, and translated packet will be static IP with the actual address of my server, which is my private IP 192.168.20.100/32. Okay, so I'll keep it. Okay, I'll go to the security policy, add outside to app server. Source will be outside, source address 11.11.11.11/32. In the destination side, I will mention as my DMZ, and the destination address will be my netted address 192.168.100.100/32. Okay, and the application side, this time I will do one thing. I will just put it RDP. Okay, RDP. So only the remote desktop, MSRDP. Okay, I did not mention the ping. So service URL, I will keep it default. Action, allow, logit session. Let me save it. And I will do one thing. Let me connect with my server here and do the ping. Let me commit my configuration. One nine two 168.100.50. Okay, let's see now. So guys, my configuration committed successfully, and you can see as it reached to 100%, I'm able to ping my server from my out remote user, which is 11.11.11, and it is outside zone, and it's reaching to my web server. Okay, so this is my address for the netted one. Okay, I'll show you one thing. I configure here what I have configured. Let me just show you quickly. In the security, outside to web server, and the web application is ping. Okay, so if I do one thing, if I will try to RDP my this IP, I could not, I should not be 192.168.100.50. It will not allow because I did not configure remote desktop in the application. Okay, okay, so it did not allow. The second configuration which I have done, I allow for the app server. In the app server, I have mentioned MSRDP. Okay, and what was my IP? Let me show over here. My IP was 192.168.100.100 with RDP. So now I will do RDP with this one, but first I will ping. Let me ping 192.168.100.100. Okay, because I did not allow ICMP packet to reach from this server to my app server. Okay, so it's not allow me to do the ping, but it will allow me to do the RDP, remote desktop. One nine two one six eight 100.100. Okay, it asks me the password. I will put the password, and I'm able to do remote desktop session with my app server. And my app server IP, I'll show you here. IP config. Okay, so my app server IP is 192.168.20.100. So guys, now I will do one thing. I will check, I will do session with my Paloalto firewall as putty, and we'll check from the CLI by putting the command for the translation net. So I'll connect my Paloalto firewall 192.168.0.119 admin, and I will put the password. And here I will give the command. Let me put it here. Yes. So I'll put command show session all. Okay, and in the show session all, you can see over here I have MSRDP. Okay, so what exactly happened? This is the application, this is my ID. Okay, and this is the application which I allowed RDP, and this is my active session. The type is flow and flag is ND, which is stand for netted destination. Okay, so it's mean my destination net is working fine. So what is happening exactly? The traffic is coming from 11.11.11.11, which is my, yes, I'll keep it here. Yeah, this is my user. Okay, 11.11.11. The port is 49166, and which is the zone? Zone is outside. Okay, and protocol number is 6. Now translated IP port. Okay, so traffic is coming and it is translated in the destination side. If you see over here, this is basically my source addresses. Okay, so in the source side there is no change. Okay, but in the destination port, if you see over here, my destination is 192.168.100.100, which is my netted IP addresses. Okay, and translated IP port is my actual IP, which is 192.168.20.100. So there is no change in the port side. Okay, the port is same as it is for the source and destination. Only happen change on the destination address. So this is the netted 192.168.100.100, and this is my actual address. So it's mean my netted destination is working fine. So I'll do one thing. I will just exit from here, and I will do the ping. Okay, for my first server. So I'll do one thing. Let me ping over here, and we'll see what happened with 100.50. Okay, so I did this one. Let me check over here. Show session all. It's not showing me here. Why? 100.50. Okay, so now it's showing me this is my session ID. Application is ping. Okay, because I'm doing here ping. If you can see over here. Okay, and again the state is active, netted destination. This is my source address with this zone is outside. Okay, and this is the protocol number. This is no translation is on the source side. On the destination side, this is the one 192.168.100.50 is my netted address. Okay, with the port 162, and this is my actual IP 192.168.10.100. So guys, I hope it is clear to you now that how the destination address translation happen in the real time, And I hope guys you have enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to subscribe and like this channel. And if you like this video, please I will wait for your positive feedback. Okay, so stay tuned, and until to the next video, take care and Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.